Welcome back to the channel where we talk about rare coins, valuable finds, and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing and surprisingly valuable coins ever discovered, the 1978 no-mint Mark 5-cent nickel coin. You heard that right. This little piece of metal, often overlooked, has recently made headlines with an incredible market value of $52,873. So grab your old coin jars, check your change, and stick with me to the very end, because this story could change how you see nickels forever. Let's begin with a bit of history. The 5-cent coin, commonly referred to as the Jefferson nickel, was first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel features a left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Monticello home on the reverse. This design remained largely unchanged until a redesign occurred in 2004. But our focus today is the 1978 issue, a year that at first glance may not seem significant, but in the world of coin collecting, it hides one of the most astonishing minting mysteries. Now let's talk about mint marks. In general, U.S. coins are struck at one of several mint locations. The three main mints responsible for circulating coins in 1978 were the Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint. Coins struck in Denver usually bear a D mint mark, those from San Francisco bear an S, and coins from Philadelphia often had no mint mark at all until 1980. However, by 1978, Philadelphia still commonly struck nickels without any mint mark, so the presence or absence of a mint mark alone wouldn't be rare, or so we thought. But in recent years, coin collectors discovered something extraordinary. A small batch of 1978 5-cent coins with a missing mint mark turned out to be drastically different from regular Philadelphia nickels. These coins had striking errors in die alignment, metal composition, or unusually sharp details suggesting they may not have come from the standard Philadelphia mint process at all. Some experts believe they could have been test strikes or experimental planchets that slipped into circulation, making them incredibly rare. One particular example surfaced at a coin show in 2023 and was authenticated by top grading agencies. Not only did it lack a mint mark, but it also had extraordinary clarity in the strike, perfect centering, and flawless edges, all indicators of a premium strike, likely from a specially prepared die. The coin was sent to a third-party grading service and received an MS 67 rating, which is nearly perfect. That coin, the exact one we're talking about today, went on to fetch a mind-blowing $52,873 at a high-end collector auction. That sale stunned the coin collecting world. Collectors were shocked to see such a dramatic price for a coin that so many people would have dismissed as ordinary. And now, the hunt is on. People all across America and even around the world are checking their coin jars, wallets, and old collections to find a similar 1978 no-mint Mark 5-cent nickel that might be worth a fortune. So what makes these coins so valuable? First, rarity. There are believed to be only a handful of authentic 1978 no-mint Mark nickels with these unique characteristics in existence. Second, condition. If your coin is uncirculated or in near-mint state, its value can skyrocket. Third, demand. With news spreading in the collectors community, more and more people are looking to get their hands on one, and that demand drives up the price even more. Here's how you can tell if your 1978 nickel might be one of these valuable rarities. Start by checking the obverse or front side of the coin. Look for the absence of a mint mark just to the right of Jefferson's portrait. Then, inspect the quality of the strike. Are the details crisp and sharp? Does the coin have any unusual luster or satin-like finish? Finally, examine the edges and look for any doubling or alignment shifts. If your coin checks these boxes, it might be time to get it professionally graded. Now, some people might ask, why would a coin without a mint mark be worth so much? Isn't that normal for Philadelphia coins? And the answer is yes, it was common, but not all no mint mark coins are created equal. The value comes from a combination of factors: possible minting errors, condition, rarity of the die used, and ultimately what collectors are willing to pay for something that stands out. In the case of this particular 1978 nickel, All of those stars align. Let's also talk about how to sell it if you find one. The first step is authentication. Contact a reputable coin dealer or submit your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once authenticated and graded, you'll have documentation that proves its rarity and value. Then you can list it on platforms like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or even eBay, though high-value coins usually fetch better results through professional auctions. And don't forget, even if your coin isn't worth $50,000, there are still many valuable nickels out there. Some Jefferson Nickels from the 1940s and 1950s in uncirculated condition can be worth hundreds or even thousands. So always check your change before you spend it.in. Conclusion: the 1978 No Mint Mark 5-cent nickel is a stunning reminder that history, rarity, and a little bit of luck can come together to make everyday coins worth life-changing money. From a simple design made for everyday commerce to a collector's dream worth over $52,000, this coin teaches us the incredible value of paying attention to the small details. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could be hiding in your pocket or coin jar, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another upload. There's treasure out there, sometimes in the form of a nickel, and we're here to help you find it. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting! Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures lying in your pocket change. Today, we're going to talk about an extraordinary 5-cent coin that many people might easily overlook, the 1980 Mint Mark Jefferson nickel. You won't believe how much this coin can be worth today. Yes, that regular-looking nickel you thought was worth just 5 cents might actually be valued at a jaw-dropping $74,566. So stay tuned, because we're about to dive deep into the coin's history, its rare characteristics, and why collectors today are willing to pay big money for it. Let's start with the origins. The 1980 Jefferson nickel was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark located on the right-hand side of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. Denver Mint is known for high-quality striking, and in 1980 alone, over 593 million Jefferson nickels were minted there. That's right, this wasn't some limited-run coin. But here's the twist. Even among millions of coins, there are always a few rare gems that stand out. The one that is now worth $74,566 is not just any nickel. It's a stunning example of rarity, condition, and error combined. The Jefferson Nickel series started back in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it has remained an American staple for decades. The design features President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, facing left, with the word Liberty and the year of mintage to his right. On the reverse is Jefferson's iconic home, Monticello, which has been beautifully engraved with incredible detail. The 1980 version stayed true to this classic design, but it's the coin's condition and error that makes it worth a fortune today. You see, most nickels from 1980 have circulated through countless hands, vending machines, pockets, and purses. Over time, these coins collect wear, scratches, dings, and dullness. But the rare example that sold for $74,566 was in pristine condition, a near-perfect mint state. Coin grading experts call this a mint state 67 full steps or higher. The full steps designation refers to the sharply struck steps on Monticello. In order for a coin to receive this rare designation, all 5 or 6 steps on the building must be fully visible and without major interruptions. That's no easy feat. Most coins from this era are softly struck, especially in the center of the design. Combine that with the wear of circulation, and finding a 1980 nickel in full steps condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. This is what makes the coin so valuable to collectors. It's not just old, it's nearly flawless, but that's not all. Some examples of the 1980 Jefferson nickel also have unique mint errors that dramatically increase their value. We're talking about off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and even coins that were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, like a penny or dime planchet. These mint errors are unintentional mistakes that happened during the minting process. When combined with a rare date and mint mark like 1980, the result is a collector's dream. Let's also talk about the coin's metal composition. The 1980 Jefferson nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. While the intrinsic metal value of the coin is minimal, the true worth comes from rarity, condition, and demand in the collector's market. This is a perfect example of how the numismatic value far outweighs the face value or metal content. Now, let's break down the specific features that made the $74,566 nickel so special. First, it was graded by a top-tier grading company like PCGS or NGC. The coin received a high mint state grade, likely MS 67 or higher, and the full steps designation. It had brilliant luster, sharp details, and zero signs of wear. In fact, some experts say it looked like it was struck yesterday. Add in the historical significance, the low population of high-grade examples, and the rising demand among collectors, and you've got a coin that fetches 5 figures at auction.so. Where can you find a 1980D Jefferson nickel like this? The answer might surprise you. Sometimes they show up in bankrolls, estate collections, coin jars, or old coin albums. The key is to look closely. Check the steps on Monticello. Are they full and uninterrupted? Look for any unusual doubling in the lettering or design. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to spot minor details. And if you think you've found something special, consider having it graded professionally, but be cautious, not every 1980D nickel is valuable. In circulated condition, most of these coins are worth just face value 5 cents. Even those in average uncirculated condition might only fetch a few dollars. The big money comes with perfection, rarity, and verified error types. That's why getting your coin authenticated and graded can make all the difference. To give you some real-world perspective, let's talk about the auction that brought this coin to fame. A private collector placed the 1980D nickel in a major coin auction, and bidding quickly soared past expectations. Collectors recognized the rarity of this high-grade specimen and went all in. By the time the hammer fell, the final sale price reached $74,566. That's more than the price of a luxury car or a down payment on a house, all for a coin most people overlook every day. This incredible story is a reminder to always check your change, your old piggy banks, and inherited coin collections. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. The 1980D Jefferson nickel is proof that even modern coins can hold incredible value when preserved correctly. So the next time you come across a nickel from 1980 with a small d under Monticello, take a second look. Examine the steps. Check the condition. You just might be holding onto a rare piece of American numismatic history worth tens of thousands of dollars. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1980D Jefferson nickel and want to learn more about other rare coins hiding in your pocket, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another update. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and maybe one day, you'll find your very own hidden treasure. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. In today's episode, we're going to explore one of the most surprising and sought-after nickels in U.S. coinage history, the 1989 D-Mint Mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel coin. This unassuming coin, struck more than 3 decades ago, has captured the attention of collectors around the globe. But what makes the 1989 D-nickel so special? Why are collectors and investors willing to pay up to $98,674 for a single example? Stay with us as we unravel the history, examine the design, break down the features, and uncover the hidden value behind this rare treasure. Let's begin by taking a step back into the year 1989. This was a significant time in U.S. history. George H.W. Bush had just taken office as the 41st President of the United States. The Berlin Wall was still standing, though political unrest across Europe signaled change on the horizon. Meanwhile, in Denver, Colorado, the U.S. Mint was busy striking millions of coins for circulation. Among them was the 1989 Jefferson nickel, carrying the familiar D-Mint mark for Denver. The Jefferson nickel, first introduced in 1938, replaced the Buffalo nickel and has remained a staple of American coinage ever since. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel features a left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date prominently inscribed. On the reverse side, you'll find a detailed depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, accompanied by the words "E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America." Now, the 1989 D nickel was no exception in terms of basic design. What sets it apart, however, are the rare varieties and errors that occurred during minting, along with its incredible condition in some examples. While millions of 1989 D nickels were produced and released into circulation, most were used in everyday transactions, worn down, lost, or damaged. However, a tiny handful were preserved in pristine condition, either unintentionally or by careful collectors who recognized their value early on. The key to the incredible value of a 1989 D nickel lies in its condition and striking quality. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS68 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, are incredibly rare. These coins show full detail, brilliant luster, and zero contact marks. Collectors often refer to them as super gem condition coins, and they command astonishing prices at auction. One such example of a 1989 D nickel in nearly perfect condition made headlines when it sold for an eye-popping $98,674. That's right, a single 5-cent coin sold for almost $100,000. So how did this happen? First, rarity and condition plays a huge role. Out of the millions minted, only a fraction have survived in top-tier mint state grades. Even fewer have the full steps designation on the Monticello building, a sign of a well-struck reverse that adds major premium value. Second, the demand for Jefferson Nickels in high grade is growing rapidly. Many collectors are now focusing on completing registry sets with the highest possible grade for each date and mint mark combination. When they come across a super high-quality 1989 D nickel, bidding wars often drive the price to record levels, but that's not all. Some 1989 D nickels are also known for rare minting errors that can make them even more valuable. These include double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet. If you come across a 1989 D nickel with any unusual features, it is highly recommended to have it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. Even a small error can multiply the value significantly. So, how can you tell if your 1989 D nickel is worth big money? First, inspect the coin under a magnifying glass or microscope. Look for sharp details, especially on Jefferson's hair, cheek, and collar. Check the steps on Monticello. If you can count all 5 or 6 steps clearly with no interruption, your coin might qualify for a full steps designation. Next, look for any unusual die characteristics or striking errors. Then, consider sending your coin in for grading. A coin that earns a mint state grade from PCGS or NGC could be worth far more than you might expect. It's important to understand that not every 1989 D nickel is a treasure. Most examples in circulated condition are worth only face value, 5 cents. But those rare, pristine, perfectly preserved examples can command enormous premiums in the collector market. The value of coins like these is driven by a mix of rarity, condition, collector demand, and historical importance. Let's also talk briefly about how to sell a high-value 1989 D nickel if you believe you own one. Start by doing your research and comparing it with certified examples sold at auctions. Look for sales records on heritage auctions, great collections, or eBay to get an idea of current market trends. If your coin appears promising, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once it's slabbed and graded, you can either consign it to a major auction house or list it for sale on a trusted numismatic marketplace. Collectors from around the world are willing to pay top dollar for coins that stand out in rarity, beauty, and historical significance. The 1989 D Jefferson nickel, especially those in the highest grades, is a prime example of this. It represents how even a simple coin, often overlooked in our change jars, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars under the right conditions. So, if you ever come across a 1989 D nickel in your pocket change, be sure to take a closer look. You might just be holding a 5-cent piece worth nearly $100,000. Coin collecting is full of these amazing stories, and who knows, the next rare treasure could already be in your possession. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest rare and valuable coins. Share this video with friends and family, because you never know who might have a fortune hiding in their pocket change. Until next time, happy collecting and keep checking your coins. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of one of the most overlooked yet incredibly valuable coins in American coinage history. I am talking about the 1990 mint mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel coin. Yes, that small, seemingly ordinary nickel you might have in your coin jar could actually be worth a staggering $62,623. So stay tuned, because I am going to walk you through its amazing history, what makes it so special, the specific errors and conditions to look out for, and why collectors are paying top dollar for it today. Let's begin with a little bit of history. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. For decades, it remained largely unchanged until the early 2000s. But what makes the 1990 Jefferson nickel so fascinating is that it came at a time when minting technology was evolving, yet errors still occurred, errors that are now highly sought after by collectors. The D mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the main coin production facilities in the United States. In 1990 alone, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of nickels. However, among those millions, a very small number were struck with rare mint errors or in such pristine condition that they became highly valuable over time. Now, let's talk about what exactly makes a 1990 D nickel worth more than $60,000. First, condition is king. Coins that are graded as MS68 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are extremely rare for this year. Most 1990 D nickels are found in circulated condition, which drastically reduces their value. But if you come across one that looks flawless under a magnifying glass, no scratches, sharp details, full steps on Monticello, and a strong, clean strike, you could be looking at a major payday point. One of the most notable factors that increase a 1990 D nickel's value is the full steps designation. For a coin to be given the full steps label, the steps leading up to Monticello on the reverse must be fully visible and uninterrupted. This may sound minor, but to collectors, it's everything. It shows that the coin was struck with a fresh die and handled with care, likely never entering circulation. Full steps nickels from 1990 with the D mint mark are extremely hard to find, especially in gem mint state condition, which is why collectors are willing to pay thousands, and in rare cases, tens of thousands, for them. There have also been reports of die cracks, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets among 1990 D nickels, though these are even rarer than full steps examples. These minting errors are the result of mechanical malfunctions or human mistakes during the minting process, and while they are rare, they are not impossible to find. Coins with such errors are typically sent to auction houses or certified by professional grading services, where their uniqueness is verified and their value skyrockets. So, how exactly does a 1990 D nickel reach a value of $62,623? This kind of value comes from a perfect storm: pristine condition, a top-tier MS grade, a full steps designation, and possibly a mint error or extremely low population in the same condition. A coin like this is a trophy piece for collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels. In 2023, one such coin in MS68 full steps condition with exceptional luster and eye appeal was sold at auction for $62,623. Breaking records and making headlines in the coin collecting community. Now here's the exciting part. You could have one of these coins and not even know it. That's right, these nickels are out there. Many people overlook nickels because they aren't as flashy as silver dollars or as iconic as Lincoln pennies. But that's a huge mistake. Some of the rarest and most valuable U.S. coins are nickels, and the 1990 D is proof of that. So, what should you do? Start by checking your change jars, coin rolls, and old bank bags. If you find a 1990D nickel, examine it carefully. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the Monticello building and see if you can make out all 6 steps clearly. Look at the coin surface. Are there scratches, dull spots, or signs of wear? If it appears crisp and clean with no signs of circulation, you may be onto something big. Next, consider sending your coin to a reputable grading service. While it might cost a little upfront, getting your coin certified and graded is essential if you hope to sell it for a high value. Collectors trust graded coins because they come with a guarantee of authenticity and condition. Without that certification, even a rare coin might be undervalued. Once your coin is graded, you can explore your options. You might want to auction it through a well-known house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. These platforms have massive audiences of collectors ready to pay premium prices for top-tier coins. Or, if you're lucky, you might even find a direct buyer in the numismatic community who's been searching for that exact coin for years. In conclusion, the 1990D Mint Mark V cent Jefferson nickel may look like any ordinary coin at first glance. But under the right circumstances, with perfect condition, full steps, and perhaps a rare error, it transforms into a treasure worth over $62,623. This goes to show that in the world of coin collecting, the smallest details can make the biggest difference. So don't ignore your nickels. The next time you find a 1990D in your pocket, take a closer look. It might just be your ticket to a small fortune. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on rare coins that could be sitting right under your nose. Leave a comment below if you've ever come across a rare Jefferson nickel or if you're going to start checking your change more carefully. Until next time, happy hunting and keep collecting. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today's video is going to blow your mind because we are diving deep into the amazing and fascinating world of a modern coin that's creating a huge buzz in the numismatic community. That's right. We're talking about the 2018D Mint Mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel coin, a coin that was minted only a few years ago and is already turning heads with an unbelievable current market value of $52,839. Yes, you heard that right. Over $52,000 for a nickel. Let's get into how this coin became one of the most surprising and sought-after modern nickels in American history. First, let's take a look at the background and history of this coin. The 2018D Jefferson nickel was produced at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark on the obverse side of the coin. This coin features the classic design of President Thomas Jefferson, who has been featured on the nickel since 1938. The obverse side of the coin shows Jefferson facing forward, a portrait designed by Jamie Franke and introduced in 2006. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a beautiful depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate, designed by Felix Schlag. Now, 2018 was not a low mintage year. In fact, millions of these coins were produced by the Denver Mint. So the big question is, what makes this particular coin worth over $50,000? The answer lies in a combination of rare errors, strike anomalies, and collector demand for high-grade modern rarities. Among the 2018D nickels, a few rare examples have been discovered that contain unusual die errors. These include double die obverse, DDO, where certain features like the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date appear doubled under magnification. Other errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and even wrong planchet errors, where the nickel was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a penny or foreign coin. But what makes one particular 2018D nickel worth $52,839 is its extremely high grade and rarity. This coin was professionally graded by one of the top grading companies, either PCGS or NGC, and received a perfect or near-perfect grade of MS 70 or MS 69 full steps designation. The full steps label refers to the sharpness and clarity of the steps on Monticello, which is often weakly struck. A coin with full steps and a near-flawless surface is incredibly rare, especially among modern nickels. There's also a growing community of collectors who are looking for modern rarities. And coins like the 2018 D nickel are becoming hot commodities because of their pristine condition and dramatic minting errors. Collectors are paying top dollar at auction and in private sales to add one of these elusive gems to their collection. Now let's talk a little more about the value. While most 2018 D nickels in circulated condition are worth just face value or slightly more, the rare high-grade or error coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And that one spectacular coin we mentioned earlier, graded MS-70 with full steps and verified die errors, was sold in a private collector-to-collector transaction for an astonishing $52,839. That makes it one of the most valuable modern nickels ever sold in the history of American coin collecting. So, what should you be looking for? If you come across a 2018 D nickel in your spare change or in a roll of coins from the bank, don't ignore it. Get a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and look closely. Check the obverse for any signs of doubling in the inscriptions. Examine the Monticello steps on the reverse. Can you see all 5 or 6 steps clearly and sharply? If so, your coin might qualify for the full steps designation. Also, check the edges and rims for clips, cracks, or any signs of misalignment or striking errors. If you suspect you found a high-grade or error coin, your next step is to send it to a professional coin grading service. PCGS, NGC, or ANAX are well known and trusted across the coin collecting world. A certified grade can dramatically increase your coin's value and help you sell it at auction or to private collectors for top dollar. In conclusion, the 2018 D Mint Mark Jefferson 5-cent nickel might seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but under the right conditions, it could be your ticket to over $50,000. The combination of minting perfection, die errors, full steps designation, and increasing collector demand has made this coin a true modern marvel. Keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the power of a nickel. This story is a powerful reminder that modern coins can hold unexpected treasures. You just have to know what to look for. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about this amazing and valuable 2018 D nickel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more coin stories like this, and leave a comment below if you've ever come across a 2018 D nickel in your collection. Who knows, you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking those coins.